Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to the Daily 3.
The Daily 3.
So, tell me what your Daily 3 were from yesterday and how they went.
Yeah. Working with my dad
Yeah.
on realty. That went all right. We made good progress, which is good. Getting all basically transferring his database into a new system, because he's becoming a broker, or he is a broker now. So, if you ever are looking to become a real estate agent and want to work under a broker who is a good manager and a good boss, let me know. I can hook you up with my dad. Yeah. BJRRealtyGroup.com.
Nice.
BJRRealtyGroup.com.
He even has a website. Well played.
Yeah, he does. We're still working on that too, but
Okay.
it looks good so far. So we're doing that. So we did that one. So I got that done. What else did I have?
You had number 2 is dust and vacuum.
Dust and vacuum. I dusted that off my list, and no, I don't think that's the right terminology. I did not do that.
Mm-hmm.
Did not do it. Didn't get it done, and then I didn't get any fundraising done either. So,
Okay. And that was number 3. Dude,
Yeah.
good job, man.
Thanks, man.
You failed.
I failed. I was thinking about this morning, and I was like, why did I not? And I realized I spent more time than I thought I was going to.
On number 1.
Yeah.
So you're like me in that you probably needed to triple the
Yes.
estimated time.
Yeah. Like I thought I was going to get home around noon or something, and instead I got home around.
It was almost like was it like 4?
Yeah, it was like 4.
Maybe
4.
almost 5?
Yeah, it was like 4:30. So
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's an extra. That makes sense. So yeah. And I was thinking about like fundraising and how important it is, and it is. And I don't want to. I think what I'm going to do in the future for that is like lower the amount that I'm trying to do each day, because I really do actually want to have a website that I can point people to that has stuff on it.
Yeah.
Before I actually dive into fundraising. So I think that's kind of part of the internal tension.
So you feel like, is it sort of this, you feel like you can't go out and fundraise because you don't have your website finished for your nonprofit to direct people to?
Yeah, I guess. And I think the story I keep on playing in my head is that people will come to the website and they'll be like, there's nothing here. Like, what is this? Like, what is this? Or like,
What's the point?
or it just doesn't seem professional or
Sure.
or things like that. So I think that's part of what's like, I don't want that to happen. I want people to at least have something that says, hey, this is who we are. This is what we do.
Mm-hmm.
This is who is on the board of directors.
Yeah. So that's something that's like holding you back, kind of.
I think so.
Yeah.
So I decided, springs. So I decided, oh, well, I'm going to just get that done.
Yeah.
And who cares? Like, yeah, I'll get that done, and then I'll come back and I'll do fundraising right after that. So,
Nice. What else? What else did you learn? What else did you take away from yesterday working?
I don't know. I think that was it. I mean, I learned some things I think I learned a little bit more about energy level for myself. It made me think about just like people. I think, have you heard? We've talked about this. Like,
Yeah.
our scarcest resource isn't time; it's energy. At least for the daily.
Yeah. In the context of a day.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because my energy. I don't have 24 hours of energy.
Right. And not every hour of the day is equal.
Yes.
Like if we assume like time is the most scarce resource, we're assuming that all hours of the day are equal to one another, where really they're not, because our energy levels are different. And so that's where it's like on in the context of a day, energy is more important, or is the more important thing to consider as far as our effectiveness and motivation. And so like for me being a morning person, right? Like, and I think you're like this as well. The morning hours are my most like important as far as like what I'm actually going to get done.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's good.
So I think that played a role in it yesterday, where I spent the majority of my energy working with my dad on the realty, and then when I came back, I'd hit the slump or the trough, as they say, of energy, and I was like, well, I am done.
It's over now.
Yep. So
Yeah. You hit the proverbial wall.
yes.
Yeah.
What about you? I saw your video. Good job.
Which one?
The
Instagram?
the foam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But what were your 3? How'd you do?
Yeah. So my 3 were 1, to go mow lawns at the properties I manage, and then 2, get the insulation and plywood subfloor done, and then 3, to shoot the spray foam video. And I actually ended up inverting the order of those things.
Okay.
So I decided mental energy, and it was an energy thing, right? Because it was like the morning, I'm most alert, I'm most excited. And usually like people always joke that the video camera adds 10 pounds. Well, it like adds 10 pounds and makes you look 40% sleepier too. So you always want to like be high energy, when you're on film or on camera.
Interesting.
And so,
I didn't know that.
Because that's more engaging, right? Like when you can tell that someone is passionate about like what they're doing. Exactly.
Yeah.
People are more likely to be engaged because there's more human emotion, more human interaction.
Right. Because a lot of that gets cut through video.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
all the little things that I'm picking up
Yep. Yeah. A lot of that
unconsciously.
when you make the transition from in person to video, some of that's lost. And so sometimes it can even feel like on video you're being over dramatic a little bit just to sort of compensate for that.
But it doesn't come across that way.
Right. Yeah.
Huh.
Correct. So that's where
This has been Video Tips with Mike.
that's where it was like, okay, I'm actually going to do that one first. And some of the stuff I was waiting to do with the actually like finishing the subfloor was dependent on getting some of that spray foaming done first. So I decided, okay, this is probably the first thing that needs to happen.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I decided to invert them. I did that. And then, I also shot to Instagram as long as I was doing it too. Like I basically...
Yeah, I saw that.
Which was really interesting too, even just learning the difference in production, because actually shooting for YouTube is a way higher level of production as far as energy and effort is concerned.
Yeah.
And just sheer amount of time that's going to go into it. I was basically able to explain the same exact thing in 2.5 minutes on a series of Instagram stories as like it took me 2 hours of filming for YouTube. It's probably closer to like 2:45, so almost 3 hours.
Wow.
And then I'm going to have a lot of time in post as far as like post-production. So after I've shot all the footage, actually editing the footage and piecing it together. But a couple...
Because you're going for that high quality for
Yep.
YouTube.
High production, high audio quality. That's what people are looking for on that platform, where Instagram, they don't really care. You know? Especially with stories. It's more just the behind the scenes of, oh, what are people doing in their day? How's that going? So, but it's also fun too, because then I sort of like stepped away from that and just like quit filming and just started working on stuff. So there was some electrical that I had to get out of the way and just sort of clean up before I could keep going forward. So that was kind of fun to just like put on some music and work on that. And
Nice.
that was really the only thing I actually got done yesterday.
All right, man.
Didn't get to the subfloor, didn't really touch that. But that was all right. And then I decided the mowing the lawns, I procrastinated on purpose and decided I am going to do that Monday.
Nice.
So it's supposed to be like 85 on Monday, where like this weekend was like 60. I was like, oh, 60 is perfect lawn mowing weather. Like you can mow and not even, barely break a sweat. And I was like, all right, I'm just going to be sweating like a dog in the sun when I go do it Monday. But
Losing weight.
yeah, I think from an efficiency standpoint, it makes more sense because I mow the lawn here at our house that day. So it's like I'll already have the mower out, gassed up, all that stuff. So I'll just go do it that day.
Yeah.
And then there's some windows where it's like I will already be on that side of town for an appointment I have that morning. So I might as well go do it then instead of today. So it was kind of a strategic thing. And then also,
Smart. Yeah, you talked about that last time.
how sometimes that can actually be like, keep me from getting things done. But I think that I feel okay. I feel good about that decision. I don't feel like I spent too much time making it. Probably because of our conversation yesterday, where I was just like, I just needed to pick something and do it. So that's what I did.
Dude, good job.
Yeah. And then the other one was kind of, I suppose, just deciding to start resting last night. So kind of deciding to start the rest cycle of my week early instead of like, oh, I'm going to keep working tonight. It was like, no, I'm going to intentionally decide to be done. So,
which is so hard to do.
Yeah.
It's so hard, especially when you enjoy the things that you're doing.
Right. Yeah.
Because I was thinking about that this morning. I was like, what am I going to do today? And I was like, oh, I'd love to work on my website. And I was like, dang it, David, that's work. And I was like, how can you just shut down? Mm-hmm. Which leads us into our next conversation.
Yeah.
What are your daily 3 for today?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't have any.
All right.
And I'm choosing not to have any. So how about you? What are your daily 3?
Yeah, I don't have any either.
Perfect. So I guess what we can talk about is sort of rest optimization. So how do we pick a day to sort of observe the Sabbath and figuring out like what that looks like for us in our context.
Yeah.
Like what does it look like to cease from work in a way that's actually restful, in a way that's actually playful?
And if you're listening to this and you heard Mike say rest optimization and you thought to yourself, just rest, just rest. You don't have to optimize it. You don't have to optimize your rest. We aren't putting this on you. You can do this. Thanks for tuning in, but this is not prescriptive. This is just
So I think that's a good point.
Descriptive of what we're just trying to be intentional.
Yeah. Some people are really good at resting. I'm not. Like I literally have to schedule it and have to plan it. Otherwise I won't do it.
Right.
And that's part of what I realize is being a recovering workaholic is, okay, like embracing God's view and design of work means that I don't worship work, and I'm also not a slave to work. I worship God and I'm a slave to Christ, not to my work. And so
Amen.
Part of that is God didn't just design work and create work and come up with what work is. He also came up with rest.
That was the day that was set apart in creation.
Right.
His rest, his Sabbath.
Yeah. So
it's like the most important.
Yeah. So basically, let's talk rest. What are you doing today, this weekend, to rest?
Yeah. So I was thinking about going on a hike today. I might still do that, depending. I mean, it's beautiful out today.
Yeah.
I just need to try to get away. And the problem when I try to get away is that I follow myself wherever I go. And so my brain is with me always, my mind. But sometimes it helps to be away from distraction so I might try to go someplace where I don't hear traffic and I don't hear people, and it's just, and where I can just, I don't know, pray and talk out loud and walk with the Lord and in nature. And so I might do that. The idea of sitting down and just reading a book sounds appealing to me today. I have never read Lord of the Rings. I've started reading it, so get a couple chapters in that. Maybe when I take a hike, I might take with me tobacco pipe that I have. So I've, if healthcare providers are watching this, I don't smoke. This is, I never smoke. So write that on your forms.
But I just like to carry a tobacco pipe.
But I like to carry a tobacco pipe with me, just in case someone else might want to
smoke a
tobacco pipe leisurely outside, in nature, just to reflect on life.
Yeah.
And remember what God has done, remember his grace, things like that.
Yeah.
Thankfulness. So freaking hate that. It's like you say, have you ever smoked? You say yes. Oh, God. There it is. And they hand you brochures in the doctor's office, and you're like, look, there's a difference between me who never mind, whatever.
Anyway.
Tangent. So I may or may not do that. And then I might go, what?
I was just going to say, I can neither confirm nor deny.
that I may or may not smoke a tobacco pipe today. Or a pipe with tobacco in it, however you want to say that. Just clarifying the type of pipe I'm smoking.
Good.
And maybe go to, I'm super, dude, oh, stop texting me, people. I'm just super burnt out. So,
yeah.
So this morning I was going to go for the hike and I decided to sleep in instead. So I did that, which is great.
Yeah.
And I got 9 hours of sleep last night.
Nice.
Well, probably not. I probably got like 7, or I felt like I was up for a couple hours. And
yeah.
what was I going to say? I go to a worship service at my church this morning. And that will be restful.
Nice.
So I might do that too. What about you?
Yeah. I guess I've got a few things. So a couple things I walk through is, will you sleep in? And if so, how long? That's a question I ask as I think about like planning out how to rest. So yeah, I decided to sleep in this morning, slept until 6 a.m., which some people might be like, that's super early, but normally
4:30.
Yeah, I'm getting up an hour and a half earlier than that. So it's like, I slept in hour and a half. Like that was amazing. So I did that. Another one is, will you nap? So I asked myself that question, and the answer is usually yes for 20 minutes. I find
I need to enter. I'm going to create a little ditty at this moment when we do our weekends that says like, will it blend?
Yeah.
Will he nap?
Will he nap? So I think part of the reason why sleep is important, as far as like from like a spiritual aspect, is it is this act of saying that like, I have limits. I am not God. It's sort of this way to focus on, essentially like acknowledge God and his holiness. His like holiness can be, like a lot of times we talk about it as like his moral goodness. While that's a part of it, holiness is also part of his like set apartness, his otherness. The fact that like, it's like also true that we are created in his image, but it's also true that he is way different than we are. And so it's focusing on those differences, like God's godness, that we're just not like him in ways. And one of those ways is I literally need to shut my body down for a portion of the day, sleep. Otherwise, like
you die.
Yeah. And the same
you will literally die.
Certainly. And the same with food too. Like I think of that one as well.
Yeah.
So like eating then, or like praying before a meal, doesn't just become this routine thing that it's like, oh yeah, we just pray and give thanks because that's what we do as Christians. But it becomes this, I'm acknowledging that I am weak. I'm acknowledging that I'm helpless, and I'm acknowledging that I'm ultimately dependent on the Lord. Like I'm so weak that like every 4 to 6 hours, I literally need to shovel nutrients into my body or I will die. Like I am very dependent. And so it's sort of this practice.
You could probably last longer than 46 hours. Is that what you said? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can last a while without food.
Yeah.
But like
water?
Every 4 to 6 hours is kind of like how often we eat.
Oh,
right?
gotcha.
So it's like that
I thought you said 46 hours. No. 4 to 6.
Yeah. Yep. And so sort of like taking advantage of those things just sort of become a spiritual practice of humility and dependency, and realizing like, yeah, we are very needy and we don't like to believe that. And so that's why I think napping is really good for me. It's really hard to do, but when I do it, it's like, oh, that was good. Like I'm just acknowledging I cannot keep going. I need to stop. My capacity is not as high as I want it to be, or, like, yeah. So just acknowledging that reality of like, I have limits, and coming to terms with that and accepting that. That's part of the way that God created me.
Dude, you sound so holy and spiritual right now.
I'm sorry.
Why are you sorry? When you were talking about that, I just was thinking like, I just need Taco Bell, but it's morning. So
yeah,
that's great though.
Yeah. A couple of other things I think through is, relationships, refreshment, and play. So for example,
I didn't mean to be dismissive about everything you said there. I was just,
oh, that's fine, man.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. I forgive you.
Thanks.
So like play is asking the question of like, how will you play this weekend? Which I think play is different than rest. Play is sort of those things we do for just the sheer enjoyment of being alive, the sheer enjoyment of living. And oftentimes it has no utilitarian value.
Yeah.
So it doesn't add anything value in terms of like what we would normally think of as productivity or work output. So I think last night was thinking through like relationships, who will I intentionally seek out and how will I intentionally spend time with people. Like we, as the five of us who live together, we just kind of took a break and played Bomb Squad and like hung out in the living room for a while. And so that was a good exercise of just relationship and
Dude,
play.
So that was interesting. I was thinking about that last night because I was, I think at a point it stopped becoming play for me and started becoming work.
Really?
Yeah.
How's that? Tell me about that.
Because I was so tired. And so like there was a moment where like it became as like it began as, and I'm more of an introvert, and I've been trying to pay attention to more about like what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
But there was a moment, where I was like, oh, I'm having fun. And then it was just like within myself, I realized I was like, okay, if I had my preference, it'd be to leave all you people and just go be by myself.
Yeah.
To rest. But then I don't know. But then I feel like those are little decisions I suck at making all the time, or like I don't know how to navigate that very well, because it's like,
Sure.
So last night I was like, oh, okay, but everyone's having a good time.
Yeah.
Helper. I'm a helper. Number 2 on the Enneagram.
You're right.
I always put other people's needs usually before my own.
Yeah.
And that's not like a selfless thing. It's probably because it makes me feel good about myself that I, like it's a self-righteous thing.
Sure.
It just appears selfless. So just to be clear about that.
It has the appearance of godliness.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I'm learning. And so, so I became aware of that last night. And that's why I said, I think at one point I said, all right, this is the last one and then I'm done.
Yeah. I remember you saying that.
Because
that was good.
Because I realized like, there's a part where it's like, I don't know. I think there's a part where I was just like, all right, I'm just going to endure this because it still is fun. Like, like it's nothing's binary.
Right.
But then at another point where I'm like, okay, be true to yourself, David. And whatever that means, it just means, I think, I don't mean like I have my own truth. What I mean by that is,
like knowing how God has made you, designed you, wired you, acknowledge that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I think what you're saying is very important, because it highlights a few things. One, there's a distinction between rest and play, right? So especially I think because we're both introverts. So likewise, I'm an introvert. So when I think of things that are restful, those activities for me, I do not think of doing them with other people.
Yeah, if you noticed, all of my activities, I just realized that was me alone.
Yeah, totally. But when I think of play, I usually do think of that with other people.
Yeah.
So there's sort of a difference between
that's interesting.
Part of why
Same.
I think of those as two different categories, right? Is okay when I'm like ready to play and just experience playfulness and joy. There's sort of this like, I realize, oh, those are the types of things that draw me into relationships with other people. So like Bomb Squad, but like last night I was in that play mode.
Yeah.
If I would have been in rest, I would have been like, nah, like I'm going to do something a lot more low key.
Oh, dude, that's super interesting.
So
I wonder if I would have reframed that in my mind, because I think I don't know how to separate those. Or I think like rest and play in my mind go together, which is why I think I get burned out more.
Yeah.
Because I play, or I try to do something that's playful, because I can still be playful when I'm with myself. Like, that sounds weird, but with like if I play a computer game or something, or if I am just doing like a hobby or something like that. Or like maybe I think being playful is like watching Netflix or something like that by myself, or like Arrested Development or some other show I'm binge watching.
Yeah.
But like often if I do that, it doesn't actually. It's not actually resting.
Right.
It's just like a consuming thing still.
Totally. And I think too, that's something too to think about, is like being where you talked about like like essentially it's self-awareness. It's knowing like how's God created us, and because the things that are restful or playful for you might not necessarily be that for me.
I was going to bring that up.
Yeah. And so I think because people will talk about like, and that's part of the reason why I have to plan out rest. Because if I'm just like, oh, I'll just rest and not do anything. And if I end up just like watching Netflix, which I never do because I know that I never feel rejuvenated after that. I often feel worse mentally, emotionally, just like, I'm like, what did I just do? That wasn't even, it feels very
I wasted my life.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't waste your life, people.
Don't pick up seashells on the seashore.
Piper. But
inside joke if you've read the book.
I think.
So this is what I was wondering last night. I was like, I wonder, because I read this about somewhere I was reading this about families where it's helpful for families with their children to figure out what activity they all like doing where time disappears. Time disappeared for you last night.
Yes, it did. That's why, yeah.
And time disappearing is often a aspect or a...
Yeah. When do you just not become aware of the clock?
Yes.
Because it's just not, yeah.
You've entered into the moment.
Yeah, that did happen. Because if you remember, there was this point where I'm like, oh my gosh, it's already dark out. But I haven't even looked at the clock. I don't know what time it is.
Yeah.
And that was a weird moment for me because I'm always watching the clock.
Absolutely.
So it was so strange to just not have any like awareness of time on the front of my mind while we were doing that. And yeah, it was very, that's.
And I think, and that's interesting because I became aware when I became more self-aware in that moment last night. Mm-hmm. I became aware of time. There was a moment where I was not aware.
Yeah.
So it was playful for a while.
Right.
And I don't know, it'd be interesting to talk to Heaven and Josh and Brooke to see like, hey, were you aware of time passing the whole last night? You know, and I bet some of them will be.
Yeah.
So I wonder if there's like an activity that we can all find.
Right.
Where time disappears for all of us.
Right.
And I encourage it, man, if you have a family, if you can figure out how to do that, because then that's actually a vacation for your family.
Yeah.
When you're able to do an activity together that.
Yeah. It's playful. It's restful.
Mm-hmm.
It rejuvenates relationships.
It's not like, all right, kids, come on, we're going on a road trip.
Yeah.
And the kids are like, oh my, this is no.
I think that's also something that was fun about last night from a relational aspect is it's like, oh, I'm not annoyed by any of these people.
No.
Like I just felt very thankful for everyone.
Nice.
And that we all got to be there together. And the dogs are barking and the baby's crying. Like, there is a lot of stuff going on, but it was just like, oh, like this is great. I love these people. I appreciate them. I'm deeply thankful that they're in my life. So
thanks, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate and I'm thankful for you too, and everyone here.
Yeah.
Anything else you're doing for rest this?
Yeah. Going to church with my wife. We're going to do that this morning. From a relationship standpoint, having breakfast with everyone.
Ooh.
So
That'll be
my
good.
wife made breakfast, biscuits and gravy. And it's just kind of like
Biscuits and gravy.
we're just kind of having this lazy morning where we're all going to kind of get up and eat together. And I think part of why that's restful and also just focuses on relationships as well is because a lot of times I'm up so early, no one else is. And I love that. I love being up before anything else happens. But I have breakfast at that point. And so breakfast is typically a thing I go do alone while I'm working on stuff. Not something that I'm actually like a meal that I'm enjoying with other people. So I think that's restful. And then today's also Mother's Day. So we're going up to visit my mom.
Oh, cool, man. Yeah, I'm doing that too.
Nice.
For me, I'm hanging out with I think it actually, it will be my mom and my sisters, my dad, and so that'll be good.
That's good. And then another thing I have is to just sit. So find a comfortable chair or a couch or sit outside on the deck and just do nothing, but just like be quiet and look around.
That's awesome.
So not watching TV, not going to pull out my phone. Like oftentimes that's just a restful thing for me to do. And just being used to this rhythm of going and going and going and always checking the calendar, checking Trello, checking to-do list, figuring out what I have to do next to just be like, no, I'm not going to touch any of that.
Is there a time when you will need your phone today?
Probably.
When? Because I'm going to challenge you
Ooh.
just to turn off your phone. At least like right after this, turn it off.
Yeah.
And not turn it on until you get back from church.
Nice. Maybe I'll even do that after when I go to visit with my parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's quite fun. It's quite liberating when you go somewhere and you don't have your phone with you.
It is. And it's also like you also notice too, because everyone else is usually still on theirs. So you're
Yes.
just like, oh, this is.
I had that moment yesterday with my folks. I was sitting at lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. And they thought it was hilarious. I was like, hey guys, I just want to point out the young guy here is just watching you, and the two older people here at the table are on their phones. And they were like, oh my gosh.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then let's see, other than that, I think those are kind of things I'm focused on relationally, things I do for play, rejuvenation. I don't know. Sometimes I'll ask myself if there's a creative project I want to include.
I was
work
just
on,
thinking that.
just for the sake of
Creating for fun.
yeah, just for fun. It doesn't have to be. It's not related to anything, any of my responsibilities in any of my jobs or any of my other endeavors or anything. It's just I just want to take an idea and play with it.
Yep.
Oftentimes that's rejuvenating for me, and so figuring out. Yeah, sometimes I have something like that. I don't have anything like that on the radar for today, but that's sometimes also a question I ask. So, other than that, man, that's pretty much it. How about for you? Anything else? Final comments? Anything you want to add as far as thinking about rest and play and work and?
Nope.
All right.
Well, don't write it down, but still make it happen. I was trying to think of a tagline.
You can write it down and make it happen. I have to, otherwise it won't happen.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
If I didn't sit down actually and walk through all these questions and like make a bullet pointed list of all this stuff today, I won't do any of it. I will end up working by default. And so, yeah, I think today is a good day where we just get to experience the freedom in the gospel that we have to cease from sort of productivity in a sense that says,
Amen.
Christ has already ultimately been productive on our behalf. We're not justified by our work.
He has overcome the world.
Yeah. And so we get to just enjoy freedom in that sense, in a very like day-to-day tangible sense of just how we're going to live out this day. We get to enjoy the freedom of the gospel,
Amen.
the freedoms that Christ has provided for us.
Which is a thing that makes us fully human. It is a human thing to rest.
Yeah, for sure. So, well, with that, let's go get some rest on.
Let's rest it up.
Rest it up.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.